What is going on, guys? Welcome to Proper MMA. My name is Gabe, and today we're going to be discussing the main event of UFC 303, Alex Pereira versus Jiri Prochazka 2. And first off, my prediction was very wrong. I predicted Jiri to tire out Pereira with clinch work and grappling the first two rounds, create a war in the third round, and brutally sleep him with a spinning elbow. Obviously, what actually happened could not be more further from my prediction. I still think I had really good reasons for my prediction, but at the end of the day, I should have stuck with, why I pick Alex every time. You can't strike with this guy. If you want to strike with Alex Pereira, you are going to sleep. And I picked against that the first time in, over 4 fights. And it cost me my pick. But at the end of the day, my heart was pulling for Alex. I've always loved Alex, so I'm super happy he won. If he wasn't already a huge star right now, he just doubled it, showing up on 16 days notice, putting in, could you create or could you have a better performance than Alex Pereira did on Saturday night? Maybe the only better performance is knocking Jiri out with one punch or something, but I don't know. I think just dominance for the first 5 minutes, where the fight, debatably looking back at it now, should have been stopped at the end, and then just head kicking him into the shadow realm. There, it definitely should have been stopped, but I respect Herb for letting Jiri, giving him every opportunity to go out as a warrior and get up and stuff, but let's all be honest, after that kick hit him and put him down, Jiri wasn't even defending it. That fight should have been stopped. So a bit of a late stoppage, but at the end of the day, I'm not too mad about that. And just overall, a total masterclass from Alex Pereira. Just couldn't ask for a better performance. I think he got hit maybe 3 times to me. I think 2 jabs hit him maybe, and then one, weak leg kick. So he basically didn't even get hit at all. He took 0 damage. And I think when you look at this fight and you look at the last fight, Jiri Prochazka was giving Alex Pereira problems on the feet. Jiri was hitting. He won the first round, actually used his grappling, and we'll get into that later. In the second round, he was doing really well until he got caught. So I really thought that Jiri's orthodox style, again, was going to be able to make Pereira feel uncomfortable, have Pereira confused. But it didn't. And I think Pereira, looking back, spending, almost 2 rounds in the octagon of Jiri, he came in this fight and he was automatically adjusted to the funky, unorthodox style that Jiri Prochazka has. And he was completely prepared for it. And that's why it resulted in him basically not even getting hit and absolutely destroying Jiri Prochazka, completely shutting down his entire game in an unbelievable performance. From the first second of the first round to the final second, he was just hitting it, destroying Jiri's legs with those leg kicks, absolutely punishing him every time Jiri went in with that left hook and the jab to the body. Then at the end, Jiri goes in for a last final strike, left hook of death, puts him down. Jiri is, I think he's yelling at Alex, come down here, like, fight me. I don't think Jiri even knew that the fight was, the round was done. I don't think he even knew that. And then he's, gets back up to his feet. He's definitely a little wobbly, sits back down on his stool. And I think when he went in that second round, I think he was basically sleepwalking. I don't think he knew where he was, what state he was in, what round it was in, if he was still fighting, because he just stood there and Alex Pereira didn't even set up the kick. He didn't set up the kick at all. He just kicked him and boom, Jiri goes down. Fight should have been stopped, but Herb Dean, gave Jiri every single chance to recover, and obviously that was not going to happen, because when Pereira hurts you and he swarms you and he's on top of you, when you're wounded on the ground, he punishes you, and that's exactly what he did to Jiri Prochazka. Absolute masterclass from Alex Pereira. I have 0 criticisms of his performance. It is a A+, 10 out of 10 performance. He did nothing wrong. And because he took this risk, I'm sure he got a bag for it too. I hope so. His stardom has never been bigger. And it's crazy that this dude coming to the UFC, I don't think anyone had these expectations for him. And it's even almost crazier that this guy just fought at UFC 300, got an amazing win over the saltiest man on the roster, who, by the way, I don't think Jiri took the most damage. I think Jamal Hill, seeing Alex Pereira do that to Jiri Prochazka, I think, Jiri might have taken more physical damage, but Jamal Hill mentally took a lot more damage than I think Jiri did. I think Jamal Hill probably going to come out with another 40-minute video blaming it on Herb Dean, calling Alex Pereira, he was moving when the fight got stopped. If you go watch that clip back, Alex Pereira, after the low blow, doesn't even move a step. And I'm pretty sure, not pretty sure, I know Jamal Hill swung first and then he got knocked out. So that dude's an absolute idiot. And I kind of want to see the rematch, to be honest, because watching Jamal Hill get knocked out again and see, how salty he gets would be pretty entertaining. But, I'm all about meritocracy. So Jamal Hill, go get one win and then go fight Alex, because I want to see that rematch. That would be pretty funny to watch. And then this fight was... this was a hard fight because I like Alex a little more than I like Jiri. But I love both of these fighters, and I feel like how do you not like both of these fighters? So seeing Jiri Prochazka, especially when you see how serious he takes this, he's always in the gym, he's in dark rooms, fighting demons. Seeing him go out like that was I hate to say, it was a little bit disturbing, honestly, especially for a fighter that I love so much. He's so entertaining. And so seeing him go out like that, basically getting knocked out twice in one fight, essentially. Because after that left hook at the end of round 1 with a second left, he had no idea where he was. He was done. Fight, it was basically a first round KO for Alex Pereira. If you told me that was, it basically was. Jiri was done after that left hook, and we saw the result of what happens when a fighter's done and he goes into the second round of Alex Pereira. He gets slept again by that kick. But I feel really bad for Jiri. He's still, ranked number 1 contender right now. Obviously, he's going to fight down a bit. And I'm just worried about his chin, man. A loss to Alex Pereira is not a bad loss at all. Even 2 losses to Alex Pereira. Jiri's been champion. Losing to Pereira is not a bad loss. Jiri's proven that he is legit. But Alex Pereira is just a nightmare matchup for him. Especially when Jiri Prochazka doesn't prioritize grappling, which I don't understand. Why are these fighters not prioritizing grappling against Alex Pereira? Like, what goes through these fighters' minds? I know Jiri Prochazka is more of a striker than a grappler, at least in the UFC. But, what is he thinking? I'm going to go in with one of the best kickboxers of all time and debate with the best kickboxer that's ever touched the UFC and been in a UFC octagon, and I'm not going to prioritize grappling and clinching with him. What is this? And I don't want to hate on, get mad at Jiri Prochazka right now. But what are his coaches telling him? What is he thinking? Go in and grapple. Who cares if you look like a pussy? You need that belt. If Pereira's champ for another year, and let's say Jiri wins 2 fights in a row, they're going to have to be the 2 most spectacular knockouts ever for him to get a rematch, and he probably won't even get a rematch because of how much he got dogged on this last fight. So I don't know what the hell his coaches are telling him. Same thing with Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill doesn't even shoot for a single takedown, doesn't even try and clinch with him once. And these guys think that they're beating Alex Pereira on the feet. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Why do you not exploit his only weakness? He has no weaknesses on the feet. His weakness on the feet at 185 was that his chin was a little sus. That's because he was basically seeing God every time he cut weight. But at 205, he has a great chin. He has more power. He's even bigger. On the feet, he has no weaknesses. But in grappling, he does. And then none of these guys prioritize that. But except Jan Blachowicz. So props to Jan Blachowicz. He might have looked like a pussy in Salt Lake City at UFC 291, but at least he tried to win. He actually used fight IQ. So don't want to hate on Jiri too much. Love the guy. He's a UFC champion, former UFC champion, but still, he was UFC champion. Can never take that away from him. He's unbelievable. I hope his career is still intact. I don't want to see his career be ended because if he loses any bit of that chin, the way he fights, he needs that iron chin of his. So I hope that's still intact because the UFC and especially the light heavyweight division is better when we have guys and warriors, not warriors, mythical warriors like Jiri Prochazka fighting in it. So feel bad for Jiri. Hope everything's good with him. I think he should honestly take 8 months off at least, if not a year. Won't blame him. Spend some time with his family. Maybe go back in a dark room, assess the situation on how you change your fighting style or something. Or maybe ask yourself, why didn't I prioritize grappling when I fight the best kickboxer in UFC history, debatably? But hope Jiri gets back in the win column. Don't know who he's going to face next. Maybe Jamal Hill. Maybe that's a fight you make. But I think Jiri should take a year off, and Jamal Hill's going to want to fight. So I don't think Jiri fighting in 4 or 5, even 6 months is the best option. I think he needs to take close to a year off. Get that chin back, because he needs that chin. For his fighting style to work, he needs that chin of his to be intact. And Jamal Hill, he's super salty, but Jamal Hill's good at what he does, and he has power, and he's a good striker. And so if Yuri's chin, Yuri's chin is always there to be hit. So if he loses his chin, Jamal Hill puts him away, that's when we're in real danger mode for Yuri's career. So Jiri, get well, enjoy some time off, take almost a year off, do whatever you need. Hope the UFC took care of you, because the UFC, as I said, is better with Jiri Prochazka fighting in it. It's very rare that we have fighters like Jiri come around that truly will do anything to put on a show. So hope he's all good. But let's get next to who should fight Alex Pereira next. And you with Joe Rogan pushing the narrative over and over again. Oh, heavyweight. Listen, Alex Pereira, if he wins a couple more fights, I don't really mind the heavyweight. But, and I know Alex Pereira versus John Jones is a huge fight, but what are we doing here? We have an interim champion and Tom Aspinall fighting. In fact, he's defending his interim belt before John Jones even defends his own undisputed belt. And what, we're going to skip over Tom Aspinall and throw Alex Pereira up at heavyweight when he's only defended his lightweight title twice? I mean, what are we doing? And also, I love Alex Pereira. If Alex Pereira fights John Jones, I'm pulling big time for Alex Pereira to win that. But he's not winning that. John Jones isn't stupid. He wouldn't be the GOAT if he was stupid. He's going to take Alex Pereira down, and he's going to beat the living shit out of him if they ever fight. So I don't want to see that fight. If Alex Pereira defends his title maybe 1 or 2 more times and it's against Tom Aspinall, who I still think that goes really poorly for him, that's something I'd be more intrigued and more interested in seeing. But Alex Pereira needs to fight Magomed Ankalaev. And I know no one likes Magomed Ankalaev. He's not very entertaining. He doesn't talk well on the mic. I care about those things somewhat because we need fighters that make the sport better with mic skills that are entertaining. Well, I shouldn't say entertaining. When I say entertaining, I strictly mean on social media or, at press conferences. Because Magomed Ankalaev, I think, is a very entertaining fighter because he's a great striker and he's great grappling. But he'd be kind of a boring champion. Me personally, though, I don't really care that much. Obviously, I want Alex to win that fight. But I think Magomed, I know he says that I think he came out on Twitter, I think yesterday or something, or even today, and he's like, oh, I don't need to grapple with Alex Pereira. His chin's gone. First of all, I don't believe a second of that. Jan Blachowicz said he was going to test his striking. He was shooting 10 seconds in. Magomed Ankalaev ain't going to test his striking. He'll strike maybe for a first minute, and then he's shooting for a takedown, as he should. And I hate to say it, I think Magomed Ankalaev, if he actually, fights Alex Pereira smart and, tries to exploit Pereira's weaknesses, I think Magomed Ankalaev probably beats the shit out of him. We saw Jan Blachowicz take down Alex Pereira, and we saw what Ankalaev did to Jan Blachowicz. So, if Magomed wants to, that's the fight to make, but if Magomed wants to strike and only strike of Alex Pereira and not use the takedown, he's a fucking idiot. He's an absolute idiot, and Alex Pereira is going to put his lights out just like he's done all the rest of them. So, but I don't believe Magomed for a second. He knows he needs this title shot. He knows he's not a huge name. He knows fans don't really like him. So if he loses to Pereira and gets knocked out, and gets memed on, let's say, he's not getting a title shot for a minute because he doesn't have the popularity that Jiri has. So he's not getting a title shot for a minute. But that's the next fight you have to make. I know, as I said, people don't really like Magomed, and everyone's going to be pulling for Pereira, which I will be pulling for him as well. But you got to, it's a meritocracy. You got to give Magomed Ankalaev his title shot. And me personally, I think it's a banger fight. I think those two fighters right now are the best in the division. And if Alex Pereira can somehow stuff takedowns from Magomed Ankalaev and put him out, if you think Alex Pereira's legend if you think he's legendary right now, if he stuffs takedowns from Magomed Ankalaev and puts that guy out and essentially clearing out the top 5 of the division, his legend becomes even greater. If he beats Magomed Ankalaev, it's the best win of his career, in my opinion, because it's the most versatile fighter he will have to fight, who can strike, who has power, who has elite grappling. And as, you know, he hasn't fought a guy who's willing to use grappling like that besides Jan Blachowicz, but Magomed grappling is a different beast than Jan Blachowicz. So I hope we get that fight. It needs to happen. I don't want to see anyone skipped over. I don't want to see Alex Pereira fight for the heavyweight title yet. In the future, I'm for it. But right now, we got contenders to beat, and Magomed Ankalaev is a clear number 1 contender in the light heavyweight division. So that fight needs to happen. But what do you guys think about UFC 303? What was your original prediction? I know everyone's probably going to say Pereira because most people are picking him, and I can see why. I can see why most people are picking him because he is him. But let me know who you think Pereira should fight in the comments and your thoughts on UFC 303 as a whole and particularly the main event. Take care, guys.